So Sonic Movie 3 dropped in theaters of December of 2024, with Shadow the Hedgehog and the three main characters returning to the entire series. So just be aware, I literally just saw this on Christmas time, and I didn't bother to make a review on it until now, early January, so apologize in advance for that. So I'm going to review this video going step by step, explaining what happened in the movie and what I like, what I didn't like. And also, if I do make a mistake on something, just be aware I only seen the movie one time, so again, apologize for that. And just, you know, I'm going to give my thoughts on the end of the video, so just stay tuned. But without further ado, let's not waste any time, let's get right to it. So the movie begins like almost around the beginning of the first trailer that we saw Shadow, you know, in this coma, in this little test tube thing. Then next thing you know, something goes wrong, and then someone hacked the system, I'm pretty sure. And then they send their maximum security guard, and then Shadow breaks free, wakes up, and then just literally what we saw in the trailer, takes out the guards, and you know, with teleportation kicks, he does all that. Like, it's just great. Like, Shadow was much of a badass in this movie, like very good. I was like very impressed on how they treated him. Like, after the movie, I was like, oh my god, Shadow was such a good character in this movie. Shadow just pretty much escapes the island, and then we move on to the title card. Yeah, whatever. We see the three main characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, doing this little race, and then Sonic somehow gets set up because it's, I think, it's been 2 years at the time it takes place after the events of the first movie. The year has passed since he's landed Earth, and he, quote, changed Maddie's and Tom's life forever, which is okay, you know, like, I understand why they said that. Then later, Tom tells Sonic some important thing about changing what he has in his heart after he discovers his old cave from the first movie. I'm surprised we're seeing this cave literally just in the third movie, like 2 movies later, but you know what, it's okay, because that cave, as most of us thought, it was kind of destroyed, abandoned. But yeah, after enjoying some time together, this helicopter arrives and says that they need assistance from Team Sonic, so they get on this helicopter to go to Tokyo. Jump off the helicopter, they meet Shadow the Hedgehog, but so far my only complaint here is the pacing. Like, I think it's only about like 15 minutes into the movie, and Team Sonic already gets introduced to Shadow himself. Like, oh my god, that went so fast. Like, as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, this is not well paced. I knew that was gonna be my problem about the movie. Like, that's the main thing I was worried about this movie, is the pacing. I'll explain more at the end, so yeah, bear with me. Then if you've seen the clip, the exclusive clip that Paramount released about a month, I think, before the movie drops, yeah, we see that. We see Team Sonic getting cooked up by Shadow. I don't know why I said that way, but whatever. And Shadow gets on his motorcycle. I don't know if I should call it the Dark Rider. I probably should not, because it's not really, you know, it doesn't really look like the Dark Rider. Sonic then chases Shadow down with the motorcycle and with this gun still in his hand. Then they reach the top of this building. They do the one final sequence that we saw at the end of the first trailer, and yeah, it caused a big explosion. It caused a power outrage so very much, so I think that's a movie 1 reference right there. Sonic wakes up to find himself handcuffed, and then his 2 friends, Tails, Knuckles, save him. And then they head to this restaurant, the Chow Garden, one of the top 10 must-eat restaurants in all of Tokyo. Okay, at this point I'm just repeating the quote, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the movie at least once, or seen the trailer at least, then you know Detective Pikachu joke. I'm not gonna go into that, because that would take a lot of time. Then General, I forgot his name, but yeah, the General comes in and talks more about the Shadow of like his past. Like, it's very sad, unlike Sonic, where he found friends and family. Then, of course, the little egg robot things, I don't know what to call them, they attack the restaurant. They set everyone into a panic. Like, I felt goosebumps when I saw that. No kidding, like, seeing all the people panic, the poor Chows. Then the General dies, but then gives this key card to Sonic, trusting him to guard it at all times, no matter what happens. Then they see this mysterious dude with a motorcycle helmet on his head. They chase him down, and they get to the dock to reveal that it's Dr. Stone, aka the Goat Milker. Okay, stop. Then this giant crab thing that we saw from the trailers. Yeah, I don't know what to call these vehicles, so, you know. Then already, I think it's now like 25 minutes into the movie. I don't know the exact runtime, but I think it's almost about 30 minutes into the movie, and we see Robotnik, you know, fat, useless, stuff like that. It looks like he hasn't even worked out in a super long time. Eventually, after some goofing around, of course, Team Sonic and Robotnik meet up and explain that they need his help. Robotnik finally accepts, although with a few trust issues. So yeah, then they go through this ring, you know, with Robotnik and Sonic still having trust issues. Then I think it cuts it to Shadow going into this weird abandoned lab. Again, I've only seen the movie 1 time, so sorry if it's a mistake. He has flashbacks of what happened to him and his best friend Maria. And yeah, this part kind of made me cry a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I cried 2 times I saw this in theaters. Like, I only seen the movie once, but I cried 2 times in total watching it. But yeah, we could see them happy, peaceful, And it made me smile a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Robotnik and whatever, you know, they arrive to the lab. They find everything's dark, abyss. Looks like no one has even worked there for like 50 years, because I'm pretty sure, because it has obviously been 50 years. The team splits up with Knuckles by himself, Robotnik with Sonic, and Tails with Dr. Stone. So Knuckles ends up being being captured by Shadow, and then Tails and Stone. And then Sonic just splits up with Robotnik. He gets knocked out by himself from an ambush from Shadow. And then Robotnik, he meets his grandfather Gerald Robotnik. And this is where they break the fourth wall, because I mentioned about being in the movie being played by the same actor. Which I was like, okay, why would you break the fourth wall in what was supposed to be probably the best movie in the franchise? But you know what? It's okay. I think it was humorous. Then, of course, this is where the betrayal happens with Robotnik to Sonic. Like, I'm surprised that, again, the pacing, like, why are you betraying Sonic so fast? But then it goes, of course, Sonic and his team wakes up. They are about to leave. Before they do leave, they leave this little black hole thing, and then they somehow escape because they use very good skills. Like, I wonder how they filmed it, because like they're literally tied up, and then they're trying to go into the ring before they get to a black hole, because yeah, going into the black hole is game over, GG's. So they use a ring, teleport their butts out of there and into a mountain, but then the mountain gets consumed by that small black hole, but it gets bigger and bigger as more stuff fall into it. Then Team Sonic, all tied up still, meet up with Tom and Maddie, saying that they need their help, and they quickly agree, surprisingly. I thought there was going to be an argument, literally. Head to London, where just already at the final act, pretty much, where the final act takes place. But if you've seen the movie, you know Gerald Robotnik and his grandson Stone Shadow head there as well to obtain something. I don't remember what it is, because again, I forgot what they were going to obtain, but I know it was something to rule the world. So again, apologies. Team Sonic thinks of a plan to somehow break in before the Robotniks do. So they Team Robotnik puts on these suits, weird red, black looking suits. I don't know what they're called. And then as they enter the final hallway, this is where one of my favorite sequences of the entire movie plays out. Like, we see Jim Carrey as he is playing both characters, doing his little dance moves. Like, bro, when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, this is really good. Like, Jim Carrey's performance on this is just amazing, dude. Tom and Maddie put these on hologram gadgets that Tails gives to them, which allows them to change faces. You see Rachel being abusive towards Tom, or Maddie as Rachel, and then we see he can turn his face into her husband. Sonic and the other characters, Tom, Tails, etc., get into the same room until I don't know what I forgot what happens that breaks out, but it triggers like this weird magnet that if it's green, it levitates you, but if it's red, then it automatically squeezes you to the ground extremely hard. But yeah, a disaster happens again. I don't know I forgot what it was, and then everyone is just right there, just messed up. The female soldier and Robotnik tried to do a race for the chip. Yeah, I think it was the chip key, or I don't know. I forgot the exact name of it. And then Tom manages to obtain them right after being saved by Sonic. And then, he heads in this little hallway. Shadow appears, and oh my god, right after he sees the chip in his hand, dude, Shadow just immediately punches Tom in the gut. Like, when I saw this in theaters, I literally was shocked. I felt a little pain in my chest as well, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just had a heart attack, but not like a small heart attack. Like, I felt small pain inside my chest when that scene popped up. Like, I was like, no way, they just made him do that. And oh my god. Team Sonic and his wife found him all completely injured. Meanwhile, Shadow and his crew gets teleported away. But Agent Stone, he gets washed up in the sewer because he hides there until some wave comes in and it just takes the entire vehicle out. He sits by a river when he himself is betrayed by Robotnik, like, which is very messed up, as they go levitate into space. As he tries to explain that Gerald Robotnik's idea is a very bad idea. He thinks that Stone betrayed Robotnik, so he's just like, we are no longer friends, blah blah blah. As Tom gets into the hospital, we see Team Sonic right there looking sad, looking all shocked up, and then Sonic has this right idea to use the Master Emerald, which I know Knuckles is definitely not going to agree. I know they made a big promise to keep it safe at all times, but so after Sonic and Knuckles have a little argument about the Master Emerald, we finally cut to Wade, which is, I think, his only appearance in the movie, which is he has starred in Knuckles show, so a little screen time is okay for him. So we see Wade playing with the freaking Master Emerald. I was like, okay, that's what you call keeping it safe. That's more like if you like. I tell you, once people see it, people are gonna want it. You know, see if they see you carrying that thing around, so they're gonna want it. Okay. Sonic teleports to Wade with the ring. He demands the Master Emerald. He goes super and then just flies up into space as Robotnik and his grandfather are looking above the world, preparing a giant laser that will destroy humanity. Again, I'm already getting an SA2 feeling from this, cause you know we see Sonic and Shadow team up. Pause before that. Sonic goes super, attacks the ship, he takes Shadow as an act of revenge. They have a little fight scene, and then, you know, we see them both go super, fight a little bit, and then Sonic is about to finish him off, but then after thinking twice about it, he decides, you know what, I'm not going to attack you, it's not the right thing to do. Sonic then convinces Shadow by joining his team by saying sometimes the right choice is hard to make. Something like that, along those lines, is what he says to him. Then Live and Learn plays that, which is, oh my god, I love that, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, part of me thought I knew Live and Learn was going to play in the movie. Part of me didn't know, but I was like, if they play in the movie, that would be so good. I remember seeing some memes be like, how come this movie can't get any better? Next thing you know, Live and Learn start playing, and then we see people freak out, you know, in their memes at least. So Super Sonic and Shadow, you know, go back to the ship where they are being attacked by these little missiles that go towards them to try to kill them. As Joe notices that Shadow has choosing, quote, betrayal. Then Jim Carrey Robotnik quickly realizes what Gerald's true intentions are, and then he turns against him, you know, his own grandfather, and then they have a little attack scene with these weird, like, device. I don't know what to call it. It's like they develop, I think Gerald develops, like, scorpion claws, and then Jim Carrey develops, like, crab legs. I don't know what to call them. So they have a little fight scene, and then we see Robotnik, the regular Robotnik, about to fall off, and then Gerald just pushes his fingers, and then he presumably falls to his death. But it's saved by Knuckles and Tails, who he stabs in the back, and then Gerald is just gone. He just gets thrown into this weird giant ball of electrical, like, I don't know. It's like he's killed with like one of the most lamest Sonic deaths I've ever seen. Like, just get thrown into that Shadow's power, electrical wave things, and then he's just gone. Like, that's probably one of the most lamest Sonic deaths I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know it's funny at the same time, but at the same time, it's kind of lame to me. Like, I don't really like his death. As the time runs out, we see Super Sonic and Super Shadow trying to stop the laser, and then we see them trying to steer the ship away, and then, of course, as they try to steer the laser away from the Earth, they accidentally zap the moon, and they slice the moon accidentally, just like we saw in the trailer. And I don't know why it still surprised me. Like, I literally saw in the trailer, I thought it was gonna go play out in a completely different way. I guess that's why I was shocked. But yeah, they accidentally end up slicing the moon into bits. Well, basically, like, they end up slicing about 50% of it, if I had to estimate it. Then we see Shadow pretty much. I think at this point is the part where Shadow is pretty much no longer on screen until we get to the second post-credit scene. But yeah, as for Sonic, he passes out. He starts falling into Earth. We see Tails try to go after, but then he passes out. And then we see Knuckles save both of them, and then they both teleport back to Earth safely. But this part made me cry the most. Like, as we see Robotnik give his speech to Stone, saying, like, you know, if I can't rule the world, I might as well save it. And that's all I remember, because, you know, it was a little too much talking right there going on, but, you know, it was very emotional, you know. Like, presumably, I thought that was the end of Jim Carrey's career. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I did see online that he will play out in the fourth. I was like, what? There's more? Like, how did he survive? I don't know, but I'll try to make a theory video on this, explain how did he survive, because I do have one so far, so stay tuned for that if I do make that video. But yeah, after exposed, presumably Shadow and, you know, Robotnik are gone. And then Team Sonic notices that, which is kind of sad, honestly. And of course, Team Sonic has to remember the sacrifice that he had to make. Well, quote sacrifice, because it's not the end, which is surprising to me. Then it comes back to where we were pretty much at the beginning of the movie with Team Sonic, you know. And then this time they have the race, and then it literally ends on them jumping up so high. And then I think the credits are rolling, if I'm correct. So yeah, that's the movie. Like, literally, it went by so fast. So one thing I didn't like about the movie is that, like, you know, It had a lot of SA2 references. Also the action, I love Shadow the character in this movie, and pretty much all the characters were good in this movie. Like I think all the characters were necessary. Like even the smaller ones, pretty much background characters, so we can see people's reaction over stuff. The story was good. Like not as enthusiastic as I thought it would be, but it ended up pretty good. I thought it would be slightly better than that, but you know, I was like, you know, I'm happy with that. It's better than like super mid. What I didn't like is, yeah, the pacing, like I said at the beginning of the video. Like, I don't really like the movie is literally only about an hour 50 minutes long. Like, I knew I was right. Part of me wanted a 3-hour long movie. I'm not gonna lie. I know it sounds like very pretty much people are gonna hate me for it, but I think maybe at least a 2 to 3 hour long movie would have been the go right here. Like, literally. Like, I feel like we could have gone further into Shadow's story. A little more help from the human characters, or more screen time for them, or a little more action. I think there was only like about 3 good action pieces to me, at least. But yeah, an hour 50 minutes. That's the second longest in the movie franchise, which is a little lame. I think it deserves higher than that, maybe even higher than movie 2, in my opinion. And then fast forward, skipping to the credits, we see Sonic. I don't know what he's doing, just having fun. And then we see Metal Sonic, which I'm not gonna lie, his model looks really good. I wonder how he's gonna play out in the upcoming 4th movie. And then he's about to get attacked, and then we see these Metal Sonic clones activate, and then we see him getting saved by a mysterious hooded figure with a giant hammer. And yeah, she takes off her hood, and which is to reveal that it's Amy freaking Rose, bro. Like we pretty much knew that part of me knew she was gonna be in the post-credit scene, or it could be. I thought it was gonna be Silver. I'm gonna be honest, but you know. And then after that post-credit scene, we move on to, I think, about 5 to 7 minutes more of credits. And then it cuts to Shadow's ring, you know, because he did remove that during the fight, which I think was a good reference. So we see his ring laying there in this little small pit, but then we see Shadow's shoes coming into view, and then picks up the ring, and there, it cuts to black, the movie's over. So yeah, I think overall I give this movie like 8.9 out of 10. I don't know if I like it as much as movie 2, because I think movie 2 is pretty much the best one for me, if you remove the third one. Because like movie 2 is a 9.5 out of 10, you know, it's well paced, the characters and stuff. Like same deal here, but I think if it was slightly longer and a little bit more action packed, and we saw City Escape, I definitely would have liked it more. But yeah, it ended up pretty good, like really good on the first watch. So I hope to see this movie again, and maybe give second thoughts about it. Whether this movie is not as good as I watched it the first time, or it's even better. Or I could say, for some reason, I didn't like this movie at our first watch that much until now, where I realized it was really good. Like, I don't know if that will be me, who knows. But yeah, that's my overall review on the movie. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts, if you guys agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts on the movie, if it was good for you or not. And yeah, the 4th movie confirmed to release in spring of 2027, which is almost 2 years, which is a little over 2 years from now. But I'm pretty excited. I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. I wonder how they're gonna continue the franchise, and what characters are gonna introduce, and how it's going to end, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm excited for the 4th movie. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. And if you did, remember to leave a like, and of course, let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comments down below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace.